Welcome, Aries. You're hearing these words not by chance, but because something inside you is being called awake. Maybe you felt it lately, a strange current of energy, like a door slowly opening somewhere in your soul, and you don't yet know where it leads. Don't go anywhere, because in the next few minutes, something might shift the way you see money, the way you understand your own worth, and the way you trust the quiet power within you. Tonight, you're not just listening to a message. You're about to activate a code, a sacred frequency written for you, to awaken the fire that's been sleeping deep inside. And if you're truly ready, take a breath. Let your heart grow still, because what comes next isn't just words, it's the beginning of a journey where heaven begins to unlock your fire. Aries, every soul has a sacred hour, a moment when the universe gently places its hand on your shoulder and whispers, "It's time." Not through words, but through a wave of energy that slips quietly into your heart, melting away the old layers and lighting a soft new flame inside you. That light doesn't roar, it hums, yet its strength is enough to make every cell in you tremble awake. It arrives like the breath of dawn, slow, pure, and full of promise. Inside you, the fire that once slept is stirring again. It doesn't need anyone's permission. It only needs your attention. Each time your heartbeat quickens when you hear the word destiny, it isn't coincidence, it's your soul recognizing itself. The code, 89437, a simple sequence of numbers, is the heartbeat of the universe, calling you home. It knocks gently, inviting you back into the natural flow of prosperity, a place where nothing has to be forced, only allowed. True abundance never begins in a wallet. It begins in a belief that you are worthy. When you stop looking outward to compare and start looking inward to understand, you'll see the quiet miracle. Money, opportunities, recognition, they're all mirrors reflecting the vibration of your own energy. And today, that mirror shines brighter than ever. Sometimes what feels like loss is simply the universe clearing your path. Every pause you didn't choose, every delay, every silence wasn't an ending, but a breath, a sacred moment to inhale, to close your eyes, and remember that you are still here, still alive, still loving, still carrying the power to begin again. You are not the sum of what has happened. You are the author of what comes next, writing the future with each quiet choice you make today. The universe always waits for us to become still enough to hear the call. And now, as you sit here, listening to your own breath, feeling that warm current move through your body, this is it. The divine energy is flowing through you, not from somewhere above, but from the very heart you once forgot to honor. Let it rise not with chaos, but with clarity. Let it burn steady, like a torch in the dark. Soon you'll see that no door was ever truly locked. You simply hadn't dared to turn the handle. No opportunity was ever gone, it was waiting for you to arrive at the right frequency. The code 89437 isn't a miracle outside you. It's a mirror reminding you that the miracle has always lived within. When you dare to believe, energy begins to move. When you dare to act, everything begins to breathe again. And now, as your breath syncs with the rhythm of the universe, let your heart lead. Don't resist the change it's not here to take. It's here to return what was always yours, the right to live abundantly, freely, peacefully. Tonight, even the wind carries a message soft but certain. Be ready, because what's coming will change the way you see wealth forever. There are moments in life when everything grows strangely quiet. No clear signals, no open doors, just a still, empty space stretching wide. People call it delay, but really, it's when the universe is quietly rearranging everything. So you won't just receive what you want, you'll be strong enough to keep it. In that silence, maybe you felt tired. You look around and wonder why everything slowed down, why your efforts didn't bloom right away. But deep in your soul, this is the moment you're being taught to trust without proof, to let your heart learn patience, to understand that sometimes when nothing seems to happen, A miracle is being prepared. Every delay is a change in the wind. It blows away what no longer fits the people meant to walk with you only part of the way, the fears that once convinced you that you didn't deserve more. When those things leave, you may feel empty, but that emptiness is sacred. It's the space where new light can enter. Picture yourself standing in early dawn. The sun hasn't risen yet, but soft light is already spilling gently over the ground. In that moment, you do nothing. You simply stand still, listening to your heartbeat, realizing that everything is about to move again, not because you forced it, but because you've become the right frequency to receive. Maybe you used to think you had to push harder, prove more, fight longer. But right now, the universe is teaching you something else. Resting is also an action. Stillness is also movement. Only when you step back can the current gather strength. Only when you stop resisting can the miracle reveal itself. The universe's preparation isn't always peaceful. It might come as loss, sleepless nights, or that quiet emptiness you can't explain. But within it is purification, like a fire burning away the ashes to expose pure gold. You're not being punished, you're being remade. And through it all, listen carefully. Every person you meet, every pause between two breaths, carries a small message from the universe. Maybe it's a reminder that you're ballers, not alone. Maybe it's a subtle sign, a number, a glance, a sudden warmth, all whispering the same truth. Everything is being arranged. When you have the patience to stay within that silence, something miraculous happens. You stop feeling like you're waiting and realize that you're being prepared to fully receive what's yours. Each day, little by little, your energy aligns, and one morning you'll wake up and know you're not the same anymore. You've stepped into a higher layer of reality, where prosperity isn't a promise. It's the natural rhythm of your soul. And right there, in that quiet turning point when it feels like everything has paused, a sacred code begins to hum softly, waiting for you to notice. And to step forward into the next, more mysterious part of your journey, the one where a single word, spoken with belief, can make every door begin to open. In this world, everything begins with a frequency, a kind of invisible music that only those who are quiet enough can truly hear. The code 89437 is one of those melodies. It wasn't made to be understood. It was made to be felt. When you read it with your heart instead of your mind, you're gently knocking on the door of the universe, a place where money, opportunity, and blessings all exist in their purest energetic form. Imagine a moment of stillness. You're sitting in a familiar room, light drifting softly through the window, dust floating in the air like tiny stars. You breathe slowly, and in that quiet second, something shifts. Not outside, but within. You feel a warm current move up your spine, spreading through your hands. That's the moment your energy begins to tune itself to the frequency of the code 89437, the frequency of allowing. Money has never really been about numbers, it's always been about vibration. When you fear it, it moves away. When you trust, it draws near. And when you're grateful, it stays. The code 89437 brings you back to that original state where you don't have to fight to prove your worth, because your very existence is already proof of abundance. You don't have to chase what you are when your energy overflows. Money is drawn to you the way a flower turns toward the sun. Many people think wealth comes from doing more, pushing harder, trying relentlessly. But the truth lives in the opposite direction. The more you relax, the stronger the flow becomes. Just like a river doesn't force itself to reach the sea, it simply follows the pull of nature. When you speak the code 89437 with gratitude and calm, you're giving permission for your river to flow freely back to the ocean. And as this frequency begins to sink into every cell, you'll realize the universe has never been silent. It's always been listening. Every breath you take is a prayer. Every word of faith you speak is a signal sent out. Each time you whisper, "I am ready to receive," You're not just talking to yourself, you're speaking to the vast network of life itself. And somewhere out there, doors begin to open. People who forgot you suddenly remember. Opportunities once hidden start to appear. What you once called coincidence now reveals itself as the universe's perfect precision. Money, time, connections all begin to move around you, not because you demanded it, but because you've become the transmitter. Abundance is no longer something you seek, it's something you radiate. And when that energy spreads, it doesn't just draw in wealth, it draws in freedom, peace, and a renewed trust in who you are. When you read the code 89437 again, don't speak it with your lips, breathe it. Let each number dissolve into your chest. Let your heart vibrate like a string finding the right note. Every effort will melt into stillness, and in that stillness, the current begins to move. And sometimes, the very moment you stop expecting anything is the moment everything finds you. Like the first morning after a storm, the sunlight doesn't rush, but it's strong enough to brighten the whole world. That's how the universe responds quietly, gently, but with power. So now, as you close your eyes and feel your heart opening, don't try to understand, just trust. Because within this invisible wave, a small ritual is being called into existence, one where you won't just speak about energy, but touch it, feel it, and anchor it here in your living world. Water always remembers. Every drop, no matter how small, carries the whispers, the frequencies, the intentions we send into it. When you place a glass of water in front of you, it's not just an ordinary object, it's a liquid mirror of your soul. Look at it for a while, long enough until your reflection softens, until it blurs at the edges, as if you're no longer seeing your face, but the quiet energy moving inside you. In this moment, the universe is listening, not with ears but through vibration. Every word you speak, I, Aries, activate the sacred code 89437. The infinite flow of prosperity isn't just sound, it's light. An invisible stream wrapping around your hands, merging with the water and dissolving into the air. If your hands begin to feel warm, that's the first sign the energy has started to move. Many think rituals are mystical, but they're simply ways for faith to take form. When you add a pinch of salt to the water, you're teaching your mind that every intention anchored in matter becomes real. And when you stir that water, you're stirring the current of your own life. Every prayer becomes reality only when it's spoken from a heart free of fear. Today, when you speak in peace instead of pleading, the universe records it instantly. It doesn't drift away, it circles back, softly, like breath, finding its way through your body, awakening memories of abundance your soul has always known. Take a moment to gaze at the surface of the water. Still is calm. Imagine thousands of tiny rays of light moving through every ripple, connecting you to the great energetic web of the universe. When you take a sip, it isn't just physical, it's a sacred agreement between you and life itself. You're inviting energy into your body, into your heart, into your future. Then, you'll feel it, a subtle shift, as if the air around you changed, maybe a faint glow, or just an unfamiliar calm. But within that calm lies immense strength, quiet, unwavering, expanding with each breath. From this moment, there's no need to beg, because what you've been searching for has already begun to unfold. The universe doesn't distinguish between a prayer and a command, but it always responds to certainty. And right now, you are that certainty. Feel the movement like a breeze gliding across the surface of a lake, gentle yet powerful enough to make the water shimmer. Transformation doesn't need to be loud to be profound, it only needs to be sincere to be real. And when you set the glass down, don't rush away. Stay for a moment longer. Let your palms rest against the warmth still clinging to the glass. Feel your heartbeat slow, steady, as if it's syncing with something greater. A current that's no longer asleep, but awakening. That current will not just flow through you, it will flow for you, carrying everything you're ready to receive: opportunities, prosperity, helping hands, and the subtle signs you once overlooked. And when you finally open your eyes, as the light of the present moment returns, you'll notice something strange. The world hasn't changed, but the way you see it has. Everything is still here, just brighter, softer, closer, as if all of life is smiling at you, waiting for you to take one more step, to merge completely into that rhythm, where scarcity dissolves and a new energy, deep, pure, and steady, begins to rise quietly from within you. Sometimes, transformation doesn't arrive with thunder. It begins with a single, quiet breath. It's that moment when you stop struggling, stop trying to swim against the current, and finally let the water lift you. That's the moment of awakened surrender, when the soul stops fighting and learns to trust that the universe always knows the way home. Money is like water. When you hold it too tightly, it slips through your fingers. When you loosen your grip and let it flow, it finds its way back to you, cleaner, fuller, freer. Maybe you've believed you had to do more, prove more, be more. But true prosperity doesn't need to be conquered. It only needs to be invited in. The code 89437 doesn't work for you. It teaches you how to invite properly, through trust and gratitude. Imagine your life as a garden. Every belief, every word, every action a seed. When you plant with worry, you harvest scarcity. When you plant with gratitude, you harvest gold. The universe has never said no. It simply echoes back the exact frequency you send. And today, as you choose to vibrate with the rhythm of flow, you allow the old doors to close so the new ones can open softly, naturally, like a breeze gliding through the leaves. Remember, money itself isn't good or bad. It only mirrors the energy of the one who holds it. When you fear it, it comes and goes like a stranger. When you're at peace, it stays like a trusted friend. When you share from the heart, it becomes joy that circles back, maybe as an opportunity, a kind soul, or simply a quiet, beautiful day. And if you've been paying attention, you might have noticed, the more you open, the more life opens with you. A person who had gone silent suddenly reaches out. An unexpected offer appears. Little things, but none of them random. They are reflections, proof that your energy is moving again, that the universe is responding. You're no longer waiting, you're receiving. You're no longer running, you're dancing with the flow of life. Prosperity is no longer a destination, it's a way of walking. When you walk with faith, the path widens. When you speak with gratitude, your voice becomes clear. When you give with love, everything you once feared to lose returns to you in a new form, deeper, gentler, and always on time. If there is one secret to abundance, it's this: the flow opens only to those calm enough to stand still within it. You can't call water home by shouting, but you can invite it by being the still lake that mirrors the sky. So let gentleness lead the way. Don't try to redraw the map for the current, let it carry you. Every step, every choice, every action from this moment forward, let it rise from trust, not fear. And when you realize you no longer need to earn money, but simply let it move through you like sunlight through a window, you'll see the miracle. That light doesn't just brighten your room, it warms the world around you. Because the true current of prosperity isn't about how much you have, it's about who you become while receiving it. And in that sacred moment, when your heart is still and your hands are open, the energy begins to move once more, carrying you deeper, closer to the layer of blessings waiting ahead, where the light begins to spread from your heart into the whole world. Sometimes, we don't realize we've reached a different stage of abundance, a place where money, blessings, and joy no longer come to be kept, but to be shared. At this level of the soul, you stop counting what you have and start asking, how much can I give to make the world a little lighter? Blessings, like water, stay pure only when they flow. When you let them go, they always find their way back in new forms, softer, deeper. The universe trusts hearts that give, because those hearts know that giving is never loss, it's simply another way to keep energy alive. Look closely, and you'll see. Everything you've ever given, a kind word, a meal, a helping hand, always returns to you when you need it most, in ways you could never have planned. Along the way, you'll begin to feel a different kind of happiness. Not the joy of receiving, but the peace of giving. Like watching a raindrop fall from the sky, you don't mourn its descent, you smile, knowing it's nurturing something new. You give not to be remembered, but because you understand that goodness must continue to live. Look around you at the weary, the lost, those trying to find their way back to faith. You've been there before, walked through your own nights of doubt. Now that your inner light has steadied, you can be a quiet shelter for someone else. It doesn't take much sometimes. Just a gentle word can remind another soul that the world is still kind. And in that moment, blessings double, half in the receiver, half in you. Because true blessings are not about how much we receive, but about how freely we let them flow through us. When you let that current move through your life, you lose nothing. You become transparent. And in that transparency, light passes through you effortlessly, turning you into a channel of love, peace, and enduring prosperity. Each time you give from the heart, you're sending a message to the universe. I trust this flow. And the moment you trust, the universe does too. It starts rearranging itself, opening new paths, returning to you more than you once believed you deserved. Blessings don't just come back. They become the air you breathe, the light you see, the gentle voice that greets you in the morning. One day, you'll realize that giving is no longer something you do, it's who you are, like breathing natural, effortless, without reason. And in that realization, you stop fearing loss, because you understand that the flow never ends. It only changes direction, travels farther, and returns to you in new, more complete form. And in that sacred moment when your heart opens and the energy of blessing moves through you like a clear river winding through a quiet valley, something extraordinary begins to rise. Not outside, but within. A soft, warm light, steady and deep, guiding you closer to the next layer of energy where you'll not only understand blessing, but glimpse the true purpose of your soul, the reason you were born with this fire. When energy begins to merge with you, everything changes. Not in a loud, dramatic way, but quietly, deeply, like sunlight slipping through the soft veil of morning mist. The code 89437 is no longer a number you recite. It becomes a heartbeat inside you, a new language of the soul, gentle yet powerful, calm yet profound. These days, you may notice you no longer have to try to attract anything. Instead, things begin to find you, as if the universe suddenly recognizes that you're ready to hold the rhythm of the flow. Money, opportunities, the right people, they no longer need chasing. They arrive naturally, like rivers returning to the sea. Because when you and the universe hum at the same frequency, all resistance dissolves. Now, every thought you have is a seed of energy. Every word, every action carries the power to shape reality. When you say thank you, you expand. When you give, you multiply. When you are at peace, the world around you softens. And then, you realize the greatest truth of all. You are no longer the seeker of prosperity. You are its source. Not everyone reaches this stage. Many are still searching outward, while you're beginning to discover the treasure that's been within you all along. When you walk in the energy of trust and gratitude, you stop depending on outcomes because you know the outcome already lives inside you. This sacred code doesn't just open material flow, it opens a deeper gate, a passage that leads you back to your own creative essence. Look back for a moment. You've walked a long path from doubt to trust, from waiting to allowing, from fear to peace. And now, as you take a deep breath, feel that harmony spreading through your body. Every cell seems to sing the same melody, vibrating with the frequency of 89437, the frequency of fullness, gratitude, and faith in a miracle that's still unfolding. When you begin to live as if the miracle has already happened, you'll see it was never gone. It was simply waiting for you to open wide enough to realize you've always been the outstretched hand of the universe. Everything you touch now carries healing. Every word you speak has the power to lift someone weary. You're no longer walking in the world, you are the light within it. And when you finally understand that this light never fades, even in the dark, you'll know why this journey matters so deeply. Because true wealth has never been about possessions. It's the ability to kindle the hearts of others with the calmness that lives in your own. Now, in this breath, in this heartbeat, you are carrying the energy of 89437, an energy that doesn't just create prosperity, but leaves light wherever you go. And within that light, a sacred stillness opens, guiding you one step further, not toward more, but toward depth, toward the place where gratitude and blessing become one, like a gentle bow of the soul, offered quietly, lovingly, to life itself. Aries, you no longer need to search for prosperity out there because you have become its source. Wealth is no longer something you chase, it's the light that flows through every breath you take, through everything you touch, through the way you smile at life itself. When your heart opens, the universe opens with it. And now, every thought, every word, every action you take sends a loving signal into the air, softening the world around you, making it lighter, kinder, and more full of grace. Gratitude, Aries, is the new currency of the soul. It isn't stored in banks, but in your eyes when you look at someone with compassion, in your nod when you choose to forgive, in your breath when you realize you already have enough. The more grateful you are, the wider your energy expands and the more blessings find their way back to you. It's a sacred circle that no law can measure, only the heart can feel. And when you give, remember you lose nothing. You're simply keeping the current alive. Giving is the highest form of receiving, because the universe can't fill a cup that's already full. Only when you dare to pour out freely, without fear, can the miracle find space to enter. Sometimes what you give today won't return as money, but as a stranger's smile, a new opportunity, or a spark of faith rekindled when you need it most. Take a deep breath. Feel the air move through your chest like a stream of light. Now say slowly, with full presence, I, Aries, activate the sacred code 89437, the infinite flow of prosperity. Let those words dissolve into the air, spreading like waves of energy reaching far beyond what you can see. From this moment on, everything you touch becomes a miracle. Because you now understand true prosperity isn't about having more, it's about becoming enough. It's not about holding, it's about flowing. Not about owning, but about being grateful. And within that gratitude, life continues to bloom day after day, season after season, like a blessing that never ends. Thank you, Aries, for walking this journey, for opening your heart to listen, to feel, to change. Thank you for believing that light is real, even on the darkest days. Carry this energy with you into your mornings, as you rise, and into your nights, as you gently close your eyes to remember that this flow is alive, expanding, and waiting for you to believe. Just once more, may you be peaceful, abundant, and always surrounded by the light of good things. From this heart to yours, I bow to you, with gratitude, with faith, and with every blessing the universe has written in your name.